attention, class. Good morning. Good morning. If you don't remember from the long weekend, can I have your attention, please? Thank you. My name is Mr. Osman, and welcome back to Freshman English. Oh, I know you're all excited and you had a great weekend, but I hope you all remember to have finished your homework assignment for the weekend was to finish Act 1 of Romeo and Juliet. Now, based on your feedback, on Friday, a lot of you had some confusion to the relationship of the various characters in our play. And so I thought it would be a good idea to take some time out of our lesson to reestablish some of these connections and maybe try to get a better understanding of these relationships. Now, can someone tell me what a graphic organizer is? We've done these before, so you should know. Yes?
Like a Venn diagram, like a visual for the concepts we're learning.
Okay, perfect. Now, would you please come up here and hand out these diagrams? You're such a good participant. Thank you very much. I'd like 2 per table. Alright. Now today we're going to be doing a similar type of diagram, but today is going to be a new one called a semantic feature analysis. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to take this little sheet, which each of you are going to share with a partner. Unfortunately, the photocopier wasn't working today, and I am not prepared for the 35 plus students we have today. But as you can see, this is a semantic feature analysis using a table format, and on this side we have a list of our main characters, and above we have various categories in which our characters will which they may fit and may not fit, and your goal is to figure out whether or not they fit into that category. The idea is that you'll gain a more visual presentation of the ideas you're trying to gain in your head. Now, at your tables, I have put out a little baggie of various character descriptions. I'd like each of you to take out one of them. There should be 4 people in your group if you have magical other students. Please try to share. Some people have 1 description, others have 2, so try to use the 2 of the that have extra. I'll give you a minute to read them to yourselves. And then when it looks like you're all done, you will then discuss in your group the various characters you have. You may begin. No, do not fill out the graph yet. My students have I did the whole play. You guys don't complete out the chart yet. We're going to do right now. We're just reading, to yourselves or to in the sheet. Ross, I just want you guys to read the sheet for now. Thank you. Look at you guys. Good job. Okay, it looks like a lot of you have tackled your very detailed descriptions of our characters. Now, as you already might have noticed, a lot of the people that I've given you maybe are not necessarily on this list. But what I want you to do is to piece together based off the descriptions and figure out who fits where. Now, I saw 2 groups already started tackling this because they're so eager to learn. The section right here, you're going to put a plus if you think that Romeo is a Montague, and a negative mark if you do not think that he's a Capulet. Now, if you're unsure of any of these areas, feel free to put in a question mark. I recommend using pencil because as we continue this play, things might change. And so you never know if the nurse is going to come out of nowhere and just randomly kill somebody. So please use a pencil. We're going to use this repeatedly over the unit and try to decide where things are going. This will also be used on the test later. Alright, now please go ahead and try to complete this grid to the best of your ability. Thank you.
Oh, he's not.
We need a little support.
I don't think he's a friend of
No, that's there are some groups that
Doesn't Romeo kill someone?
tell you. You read up to Act 1 and not paying attention to your homework.
Timbo, it said he was like aggressive
Okay, keep going. How are you guys doing? We're in action right now. So, not yet. Now, some groups are uncertain of whether or not, because we know in the prologue that Romeo and Juliet died, and so they're wondering whether or not killing themselves counts as a killing somebody in that category. So that's up to you. But for the rest of them, assume that we're very early on in the story, and so you may not know all the things yet. That's why we put a question mark. Now, is there any of these other categories? Can you assume that Lady Capulet and Capulet are part of the Montague family, or are they part of the Now you want a plus mark on the Capulet section because Juliet is obviously and my sister. Did you have a question?
So, Romeo
It's true. That is a really good point.
Just 500 years later, maybe you showed up this is called
Oh, math for teachers. Good work. I think we acted like we acted advertising.
Okay, class, can I have your attention, please?
Oh, your turn.
Not everybody has completed the rest of their grids yet. There's semantic analysis. But I feel like we're running short on time, and I wanted to clarify a couple things. Now, we don't know everything because we're only right up to Act 1, and some of these things might take you a longer time to figure out. Now, we can already assess that we know the Capulet and Montague families, and so you can put a plus and minus throughout those sections. So feel free to do so if you haven't already. I can help you out in saying that Mercutio is the only person on this chart who is in the Prince family. And Benvolio, Mercutio, and Juliet would be considered friends of Romeo. Now, the rest of it is kind of up to you, and we are going to be going over this repeatedly throughout the rest of the play. Now, I'm going to ask you, I'm not going to give us this extra time in the rest of the unit, but I would like you to then, I'll just simply remind you and say, class, would you please mark down, okay, this person died, who killed them, and put in that mark. Now, teacher off. What we're doing today is called a semantic feature analysis. It's just like this chart. The goal of this chart is to use any type of category, vocab words, definitions, unclear ideas, or concepts that you're trying to grasp in your content area, and grid them out in a way that students can then figure out a more visual interpretation of what they're doing. Now I know not all of you are Shakespearean experts, but you're striving to be as great, dedicated freshmen. Is there any questions that you have from this lesson?
First of all, are there any questions? But because you're aspiring to be an English teacher.
I am.
Right. I really like the way that you are using this, I believe, as an gauge to get going on this play that's well read and overread in schools, and that they will continue to use this semantic feature analysis as a study guide as they go through the play. I think that's fantastic. So good use there. Another thing that I would comment, just by way of a teachable moment here, is the degree to which each one of these is true. So instead of pluses and minuses, you could use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to delineate the strength of that relationship. Like, for example, Mickey and I were kidding because we were talking about down here about Juliet may not be just Romeo's friend, you know. So there might be a degree of friendship there. You know, I mean, as you get through the play, these relationships really are quite critical to how that play rolls out.
In a very short period of time.
In a very short, yeah. So, I mean, there's another twist on the SFA. The SFA is semantic feature analysis, is a fantastic strategy, and just by way of kind of teaching here. I'm just so cold. I'm sorry, I'm wearing my work clothes on top of me. We don't even heat this building to the 15th. Saving tax dollars. Okay, so I've been in a kindergarten where instead of packets, kids were given little pieces of clothing with Velcro on the back, you know, jackets and hats and so on. And so there was a little girl picture, you know, over here, and there was a little boy picture over here. I'm not a good artist, but and then there was summer, and then there was winter, and the little kids had to come up and put their piece of clothing in and they only had 4 choices, right? So that's an example of an SFA, but for a different grade level. I've also seen an SFA right here on campus over in geology, where they had all of the rocks and minerals and the hardness factors, and I mean, it was really complicated. I could never do it myself. But so the point is that any kind of text that you're translating vis-a-vis some kind of visual representation, where our learners are coming up through are way more visual than us older people. Yes, some of us are older than some others. That any of these graphic organizers, particularly the semantic feature analysis, which really causes for fine degradation, are fantastic. I think you did a really nice job with this.
There's other types of examples in your text for the next FQ 8 and 9. I can't remember which chapter, but one of them has a couple various types of maps and examples that you could also use. So.